Hello everyone, welcome back to MLS Moves. Please make sure you like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. We have finally made it to the highly anticipated and controversial MLS standings prediction for the Eastern Conference, which means the MLS season is just right around the corner. I hope you enjoy. At number 15, we have Montreal. Now, Montreal signed MLS veteran striker Joseph Martinez on a one-year deal using targeted allocation money. Martinez brings an extensive experience from his time with Atlanta and Inter Miami, and he also has represented Venezuela in multiple Copa America tournaments. The question is, at this age and with the injury history of Joseph Martinez, does he still have enough to contribute to a club at this point in his career? Montreal also hired Laurent Courtois as their head coach for the 2024 season and signed Uruguayan forward Matias Cacaro from the Argentine top-flight side Huracan. Cacaro's acquisition was announced by the club, and he was signed using target allocation money. Montreal also loaned forward Chinonso Afor to Bulgarian side Arda Kardzali for the 2024 season. Afor had previously scored 5 goals and provided 2 assists in the 64 league appearances for Montreal and the Chicago Fire. The team has struggled to win since they lost Wilfried Nancy to the Crew after the 2022 season by hiring Hernan Losada in 2023 and failing to make the MLS Cup playoffs. This will be their second manager since Nancy left, and the club still looks to struggle going forward. At number 14, we have Charlotte FC. The club made their first move this offseason by hiring manager Dean Smith. The English manager has managed Leicester City, Norwich City, and Aston Villa, who they are looking to help turn things around for the club in 2024. Former manager Christian Latanzio was let go in November after failing to advance in the play-in round of the playoffs this past season, and the club has offloaded players such as Karol Swiderski and Kamal Jazwiak, who underperformed and are no longer with the club. The offseason saw significant changes, including hiring a new coach, but hasn't seen any significant additions as far as players. I look for them to struggle early on until the summertime, when they will likely be more active in the transfer market. At number 13, we have the New England Revolution, who completely collapsed at the end of the last season with the departure of legendary U.S. coach Bruce Arena. The Rebs promoted Kurt Onalfo to technical director, even though he has been inconsistent in his MLS career. They also hired Caleb Porter, who last coached with the Crew in 2022, where he led the Crew to an MLS Cup title in 2020, while also leading the Portland Timbers to an MLS Cup trophy in 2015 before he had coached the Crew. While I like the coaching hire, the only significant move the Revs have made this offseason is the signing of Serbian goalkeeper Henrik Rabas. I expect the team to struggle this season, even as they still have their star playmaker Carlos Gil, until they make further additions to this roster. At number 12, we have DC United. Wayne Rooney had many people hopeful last year, with this being his full season after his appointment in 2022, but ultimately failed to lead the club to the playoffs and left the club early for a job at Birmingham City in his native country of England. DC United replaced Wayne Rooney with former New York Red Bulls coach Troy Lessin ahead of the 2024 season. Lessin agreed to a 3-year contract with DC United and officially became the club's new head coach, succeeding Wayne Rooney. This move comes after Lessin's tenure with the New York Red Bulls, where he took over the coaching duties in May and led the team to the playoffs. The decision to hire Lessin marks an important change for DC United, following a period of coaching transition and the team's focus on securing better results for the upcoming season. The club hasn't made any significant additions this offseason and is relying on Klitsch and Benteke to help this team succeed, and I expect them to start the season off relatively slow until they're able to make some additions this coming summer. At number 11, we have Nashville SC. Nashville SC has had success in the early stages of the franchise, with star midfielder Hani Mukhtar leading the way, but the club has always been missing a few key pieces to make them an actual MLS Cup contender. This past summer, they added English striker Sam Surridge, who helped the team early on and even had them make the League's Cup final, which they lost to Inter Miami. Ever since then, the club has struggled and has been inconsistent. The only significant addition they have made this offseason was trading for American winger Tyler Boyd from the LA Galaxy. If the club struggles early on to find success, I believe coach Gary Smith will be let go, as he's already on the hot seat. At number 10, we have Toronto FC, who hired Canadian national team coach John Herdman at the end of last season. They have had their 2 big-ticket signings in Lorenzo Insigne and Federico Bernardeschi, but the 2 Italians have had more downs than ups with the club. The team hasn't made any significant moves this offseason, as I believe they're in a wait-and-see mode with what they have and will need to add this summer. The club has reportedly looked good during the preseason, and I will be interested to see if Herdman can have Toronto fighting for a playoff spot in his first full season as the coach. At number 9, we have the New York Red Bulls, who have signed a veteran European player in Emil Forsberg for the first time since Thierry Henry over a decade ago. I believe times are changing for the Red Bulls, and ownership finally seems like they care again. They also hired German manager Sandro Schwarz, who they are looking to bring more stability to the club with. Another promising signing they made was young Swedish defender Noah Eiley, who they are looking to reinforce the backline with. I fully expect the Red Bulls to compete for a playoff spot, especially when they inevitably add some more pieces this coming summer transfer window. At number 8, we have New York City FC. The City Football Group-owned club didn't do much last season as far as significant player acquisitions, but they seem to be all in this offseason. They spent €7 million on Argentine winger Agustin Ojeda and are close to finalizing a deal for Serbian striker Jovan Mihajlovic, who figures to cost around €8.5 million before add-ons. The two biggest question marks this team has is, can the young players contribute enough to win early on, and is Nick Cushing good enough to lead this team? We will surely get clarity on this club sooner than later. At number 7, we have the Chicago Fire. The Fire just set a club record with the signing of Belgian striker Hugo Kuipers from Ghent for €12 million. They're expecting big things from the former Belgian Pro League Golden Boot winner in his pairing with Shaqiri. Frank Klopas had shown himself to be a formidable manager down the stretch when he took over, leading the club to make him the permanent manager at the end of the season. They also added some midfield depth with the rumored addition of Kellen Acosta, who has a wealth of MLS experience and looks to bring stability to the Fire's midfield. I believe the Fire will make the playoffs for the first time since 2017. At number 6, we have the Philadelphia Union, who have been very good under the leadership of Jim Curtin. I know this might confuse some people why I have them lower than usual, but this mostly has to do with the team not making any significant additions to the roster when MLS is getting better each and every year. They still have their core of Gazdag, Carranza, Wagner, Glesnes, and Blake, but they will need to add more to keep up with the times and compete in the ever-growing Eastern Conference. I expect them to still be a very good and formidable team who will make the playoffs. I just don't expect them to be as good as they have been in years past. At number 5, we have Atlanta United, who will be making some serious noise this season and look to return to the top of the table as they were in their first couple of seasons. As long as they don't sell Amada this summer, I fully expect them to be competing for the top spot in the East and be a serious MLS Cup contender. Georgios Giacomakis was one of the best strikers in MLS in 2023, and I don't expect that to change in 2024. They also added Polish midfielder Bartosz Sliks, who will replace Santiago Sosa in the midfield. The only question mark is if Gonzalo Pineda is up to the task to lead this club back to its glory days. At number 4, we have the reigning Supporter Shield winners FC Cincinnati. They have most of their players returning, including MLS MVP Lucho Acosta, but they sold their star striker Brandon Vasquez to Monterrey this winter. They did add Miles Robinson to an already stout defense, but the big question is, can they replace Vasquez in the production with Aaron Budpenza being the main target up front? I don't expect them to fall off much and believe they will still be one of the MLS elites in 2024. At number 3, we have Inter Miami. They obviously made noise this past summer when they signed Argentine legend Leo Messi, Spanish midfielder Sergio Busquets, and Spanish defender Jordi Alba while winning League's Cup. But will the other additions this offseason be enough? They've signed legendary Uruguayan striker Luis Suarez on a free to add stability and hopefully to score goals up top. They also signed center back Nicolas Freire on loan from Pumas to solidify the backline, which is a huge question mark for the club. But the biggest signing of all for them this offseason is the reported signing of Federico Redondo from Argentinos Juniors, who was high on several European clubs' lists. With Messi here a full season, I seriously doubt this team won't be good. If they aren't, we could see Tata Martino replaced sooner than later. At number 2, we have Orlando City SC, who are a team that I believe has all the talent to make a push and be a serious MLS Cup contender. They are adding Serie A veteran striker Luis Muriel, who will be a lethal scorer for the club, while also adding MLS legend Nico Ladero from the Seattle Sounders on a free. Both of these players will add much needed veteran leadership to an already successful and young team. I expect Facundo Torres to take a big step as well in 2024 and set the stage for him to be sold either in the summertime or at the end of 2024. Oscar Pereira is the right guy for this job, and I believe 2024 will be a very special season for the Lions. Now, last but not least, we have the reigning MLS Cup champions, the Columbus Crew. The Crew have been revolutionized under the leadership of French manager Wilfried Nancy. They have many players from Cucho Hernandez, Darlington Nagbe, Diego Rossi, and Christian Ramirez returning, and I see them as a top team until they are taken down in 2024. They've also added some depth with Colombian winger Marino Hinestroza from Pachuca, which they paid 2.9 million euros for, and they expect him to contribute immediately. Thank you so much for watching. Comment down below and let me know if you agree with my standings or what your standings predictions would be. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And until next time, I will see you all soon.